about the Cowboys' offense, but really, however far their defense can take them is how far this team is going to go.
Yeah, and it's all about the most important stat in an NFL season is scoring defense. That is the best barometer for how teams are going to fare. 45 of 52 Super Bowl champions finished in the top 10 in scoring defense. 86 of the 104 teams that reached Super Bowls finished in the top 10 in scoring defense. It's not how many points you score, it's how few you allow.
And we talk about the Cowboys. Last year they ranked in the top 10 in yards allowed. Statistically, which was the first time under Rod Marinelli. I think they were 8th last year, right?
Right.
But really, you go back to it's the scoring defense. And they weren't in the top 10 in scoring defense, and that number needs to improve this year. They ranked 13th in that category last season.
Since 2000, they've been in the top 10 in scoring defense 3 times. Once under Mike Zimmer, once under Wade Phillips, and once, of course, under Marinelli. They went to the playoffs each time. That's your ticket to the postseason. You look at the greatest offenses in history. The Broncos set an NFL record, scored 606 points in the 2013 season. Go to the Super Bowl, and they lost to the best defensive team. They scored 1 touchdown. It's not how many points you score, it's how few you allow.
You've been here a long time, and when you go back and look at some of these Dallas defenses, what people forget is how good they were back in the day in the 90s when they won all those Super Bowls, when they got Haley in here, Charles Haley. They ranked statistically #1 in yards, but they also were up there in scoring defense too. What is the best defense, A, that you've ever covered, and B, what's the best defense you've seen in Dallas?
The 92 defense led the NFL, and all 3 of those Super Bowl teams ranked in the top 6 in scoring defense. But that 92 defense, they were so young, so fast, so deep, and they didn't have any Pro Bowlers. Next year, when reputation started getting there, but that 92 defense I thought was special. And that 92 defense kind of dismantled that Buffalo offense. The best I've seen, the Buccaneers in 2002, the Ravens 2000. I think the '69 Chiefs are as good as we've ever seen. They were the last team to finish first across the board in yards, rushing yards, passing yards, and scoring defense. That's the key. You got to limit the points. Last year, the Cowboys had 4 games where they allowed over 30 points, and they lost them all. Eagles had 1, and they won that game. You can't get blown out. You got to keep those scores in the 20s and give your offense a chance to win all games.
The Cowboys have so many resources in recent years on the offensive side of the football. When we look at Dez Bryant, when we look at Jason Witten, when we look at the quarterbacks they've had, the running backs they've had, now the offensive line, they're spending a lot of money there. Do you think that this team has neglected the defense over the years? And maybe that's why Tony Romo, Jerry Jones said, hey, my biggest disappointment is that we didn't win a Super Bowl with Tony Romo. I think you can probably look to the defense as a reason why that team didn't win a Super Bowl with Tony Romo.
And that's by design. Yeah. You know, Jerry, going back to when he was winning Super Bowls with the triplets, it was always an offense first, put the big names on the marquee. And you look at the money he spent in free agency, the times he's gone out and got wide receivers, trading first-round draft picks for Joey Galloway and Roy Williams, and spending first-round draft picks on offensive players. They've always put defense on the second pedestal. And right now they're asking Rod Marinelli to win with less than they have on offense. You've got 2 really good players, Sean Lee and Demarcus Lawrence, and those are the guys you're going to build around, but the rest of these guys are interchangeable parts. And he's going to try to win with quantity more so than quality.
When we come back, we're going to head out to training camp to do an interview with one of the Cowboys' defensive stars. We're here with Taco Charlton, the Cowboys' first-round draft pick last year. Taco, how much did you learn last season?
I learned a lot. I mean, definitely being around this defensive line unit, we definitely teach each other a lot. Having great veterans like Tyrone and D-Law, and then last year I had Benson, who, overplaying with the Cardinals right now. But having all of them and having the vets we had definitely taught me a lot and, helped me progress into where I am now.
How much better off do you feel like you'll be this season? Do you feel like the sacks are going to come a little bit easier?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Just like I said, changing my body and, working on my technique has definitely helped me out going into year 2, and I feel good. And, everybody's had good reviews from the coaches, and everybody on the team has definitely seen the work I put in the offseason.
It's tough for rookie pass rushers to come into this league and have an instant impact, and you feel like you will this year. Why is it such a difficult process to step up from college to the pros as a pass rusher?
I mean, definitely the progress didn't happen as fast as I wanted it to happen. I thought it would happen, but, like I said, last year was last year. Now we're into a new year where the book's clean. I gotta perform and prove myself in year 2. So I'm happy to get started to year 2. It's been a long off season, and not gonna, like I said, another chance to prove myself.
You've given the defensive line the nickname Hot Boys. How did you come up with that?
I think I was just trying to find an identity for ourselves, and something that we can kind of go by and show what we wanted to be. And I think the Hot Boys was it. Like I said, we take over. We got our attitude. The way we play is kind of that same attitude they came with in the late 1990s to the 2000s. So just having that attitude is something I thought we had too, and that's why he dubbed us the Hot Boys. And like I said, it's stuck, and everybody likes it in D-line.
Last question, DeMarcus Lawrence had such a great year last season. How much does that free up everybody else on this defensive line to focus on him?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, the team are definitely gonna be focused on him just because the amount of pressure he puts on quarterbacks, the amount of sacks he had last year, and like I said, the good thing about him is he's still hungry. He still tries to prove himself. He still goes out there and tries to become even better than what he did last year.
Taco Charlton, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the franchise. I'm Shireen Williams, and this is Rick Goslin. And Rick, let's talk about the Cowboys this year specifically. The Cowboys, we talked about their shortcoming was giving up too many points in too many games last season, and really that made the difference one game between going to the playoffs and not going to the playoffs. You win one of those games, you go to the playoffs. What leads you to believe, if you believe this, that their defense is going to be any better than it was last season and help them get that extra win to get to the postseason?
Well, again, you go back to the offense. When the Cowboys led the NFL in defense in 1992 and won that first Super Bowl, the offense controlled the football, controlled the clock. That defense was playing 26 minutes a game. Usually you want a 30-30 split, but your defense on the field for only 26 minutes. The less your defense plays, generally the better it plays. The Cowboys, now they have Elliott back, and you got Prescott back in his comfort zone. They're going to be a run-first offense. They're going to try to run the ball, control the clock, control the opponent. If they can get this defense down to 28 minutes or less, then I think you can win with quantity more so than the quality.
I really like this front seven for a change. To me, it's the best front seven they've had in a long time, probably since DeMarcus Ware was in his prime here. But I think they've got pass rushers that they can really get after the quarterback. I think Randy Gregory coming off a suspension, I think it's a lot to ask for him to come in and get double-digit sacks or even probably 5 or 6 sacks. But whatever he can contribute, I think will be a bonus to this football team. But I like DeMarcus Lawrence, and I like some of the things that they've done defensively. The linebacker core, to me, is outstanding. I think it's maybe the best linebacking core they've had since the 1990s, now that they've added Leighton Vander Esch to the group.
And that's going to be key. If you've got the pass rush, you're going to have pressure on the quarterback, and that's what produces takeaways. And that's one of the reasons that 92 team played only 26 minutes. They got the football. They came up with sacks and fumbles. Haley was a forced fumble waiting to happen. Now, this pass rush can get to the quarterback, force him to throw out of rhythm, force him to throw the ball too soon, force him to hold on to the ball and get the strip sack. If that football is bouncing around or flying through the air, they've got a chance for takeaways. That'll get them off the field. And it all starts with the pass rush. You can say all you want about football. It's a quarterback and a pass rush game. If you've got the pass rush, you got a chance. And right now it appears on paper the Cowboys may have the pass rush.
DeMarcus Lawrence had an outstanding year last year. How does he build on that, or can he build on that? And obviously the injuries, his first 3 seasons were not good. And the back injury in particular, had a couple of surgeries on that back and kept him off the football field. But to me, they need this guy on the football field, consistently rushing the quarterback. They can't have him on the sideline and in the training room, or they're not going to get after the quarterback.
Yeah, and Rod wants a quantity pass rush. He likes the fact he's got 8 guys. You can roll them in, always have fresh legs going against tired legs on offense. But DeMarcus Lawrence is your Simeon Rice. And Rod won a Super Bowl. Simeon Rice coming off the edge, getting 15, 16 sacks. They need Lawrence to match what he did last year, and it's going to be tougher. Now he's a Pro Bowler. Now he's a known commodity. There's going to be more chipping done on Lawrence. There's going to be more blocking focus on Lawrence. And that should free things up for the other guys. So maybe Lawrence goes from 15 sacks down to 12. But if Randy Gregory's picking up 6 and Malik Collins is picking up 6 and everybody's picking up the slack, then you've got a chance without Randy Gregory having a 15-sack season. They have to take advantage of the blocking on Lawrence to let the other guys get one-on-one blocking and get to the quarterback.
Taco Charlton, we haven't mentioned his name, but he was their first-round draft pick last year, and a huge disappointment. They were looking for a war daddy pass rusher in the draft. maybe thought Taco Charlton might be that guy. Huge disappointment in his first year. We know it's tough for a rookie pass rusher to come in and have an instant impact in this league. But how much more do they need from Taco Charlton this year than what they got last year?
Well, first off, it's tough finding a War-Daddy pass rusher at the end of the first round, and he was, the 27th overall pick. So you're just hoping to get somewhere between 6 and 8 sacks out of him as a rookie. He didn't produce that. Again, he will benefit now from Lawrence. Again, it's going to be a quantity pass rusher, but they need him to step up. And he didn't have the good rookie season, but neither did Brandon Graham. And Brandon Graham is now one of the elite pass rushers on the Eagles. He made the play in the Super Bowl that caused the fumble, the turnover by Tom Brady. I would expect Charlton, there's less pressure on him now. He's not coming in as a first-round draft pick. He's just a guy they want to contribute to the pass rush. I think he'll have a better season. Now, is a better season 5 sacks? Is a better season 7? Is a better season 10 sacks? Somewhere there needs to be an improvement because Lawrence is going to need some help.
They're really happy with their cornerbacks. They've obviously moved Byron Jones from safety to corner, and they have Jordan Lewis, and they have Cheeto back there at corner. They're happy with their corners. The question to me on this defense is at safety. You've been around a lot of good defenses, Rick. How much do you need at least one good safety back there? They have Jeff Heath, and they have Xavier Woods, but are they going to be good enough at safety? If they get the pass rush, do you have to be that good at safety?
I think they can be that good if you get the pass rush.
Yeah.
See, the corners are going to be more in your face with Chris Richards' scheme. So if a receiver escapes contained at the line, it's on the safeties. If they can get the quick pass rush and the receivers are held up at the line, the safeties can be just support players. But if they don't get the pass rush and you got to cover the receivers downfield, the safeties get magnified, and that's when they can get exposed. Now, this is not a pair of Pro Bowl safeties got back there. If you get Earl Thomas, that changes the whole dynamic. But right now, they're not asking their safeties to win the game. Just hang in there.
It's been a long time since the Cowboys have had a Pro Bowl safety and probably won't have one this season, but their defense could be much improved, which is the key for this Cowboys team this season. We like to talk about offense, but how the defense goes is how the Cowboys are going to go this season. Thank you for joining us on another episode of The Franchise, and we'll see you next week.